Welcome to another edition of The Exchange. I'm Kayla Hodge, filling in for Marvin Logan. Today we examine diversity in the binary. The gender and sexual minority binary covers a wide range of identities all over the country. Major movements have been in progress for the long struggle for civil rights. The Exchange wanted to know, what role has Kent State played and if we have reasons to celebrate? 2015 started off strong for same-sex marriages. The Supreme Court will review recent rulings that could impact marriage equality nationwide as early as June. Michigan recently acknowledged marriage licenses for more than 300 couples after they were married on a single day in March last year. When the state's same-sex marriage ban was lifted, the state is now awaiting the decision to grant marriage licenses statewide. The Supreme Court is scheduled to hear arguments on whether Michigan, Kentucky, Ohio, and Tennessee violated the Constitution by banning same-sex marriage. Florida and Alabama have joined the other 35 states in the freedom to marry. However, the Alabama Supreme Court is challenging the federal court order that allows same-sex marriage. Same couples in Alabama will have to put marriage licenses on hold. The Alabama Supreme Court put out a ruling and ordered probate judges to stop issuing the same-sex license to couples. Chief Justice Roy Moore of the Alabama Supreme Court spoke out on the ruling earlier this week.
I didn't write the order. I didn't nothing to do with writing the order. That was other justices. In fact, I didn't vote on the order either. I think it's a very appropriate ruling. I think that basically what I've told the press before, what I've told the media before, that this one lone federal judge had no authority to come in and change the state constitution regarding the sanctity of a marriage amendment.
With the rest of the country waiting on the Supreme Court's decision, many advocates are considering the changes a sweeping victory for same-sex marriage. With so much support for permanent relationships between same-sex couples, living arrangements are a rising topic. Kent State is now on board after much work to create a gender-inclusive housing and restrooms on campus. Leaders on campus have been quoted saying it's a huge victory for students and the community as a whole. Students can expect to see these changes in full effect by next fall. During Black History Month, USG Pride, Kent Black United Students, the LGBTQ Center, and the Student Multicultural Center teamed up to celebrate the life contributions of civil rights activist Barad Rustin. However, the event emphasized the difficulties people of color faced in the LGBTQ community. We're now joined by our Twitter Talk segment host, Kanae Hughes. How are you doing today, Kanae?
Fine. How are you?
Good. So how has the social media reaction been?
Well, I didn't get many responses, but the responses I did get, they were very honest, so yeah.
Good. So can you give us some examples of some of the responses you got to the questions?
Well, yeah, my first question was, do you feel Kent State is an inviting environment for LGBTQ students? And my first response was, we are proud of what we have pushed for at KSU. There's much work to be done. That was from Pride. And another response is, we think we're beginning to see an effort to listen by the administration. We remain helpful for our future. Another one from Pride. And yes, like, who knew they act so surprised, intimidated, and offended when I expressed concerns about issues that affect us. And that was from Pastor Todd. And since the Sam Wheeler incident is barely a year old, LGBTQ people won't consider coming here. And that was from someone named G the Giant. And another question I asked was, how is Kent State contributing to the LGBTQ movement? And that was a Kent State follower. And she responded by saying, as far as setting an example for other colleges for general neutral housing, we're doing a great job. And that was from G the Giant also.
Okay. If you would like to share your thoughts, you can tweet us anytime at KSU TV2 The Exchange. So can you give me, some thoughts on how social media you think sheds light on these type of Supreme Court decisions that they have being made?
Well, yeah, like I said, everyone is basically honest about what they have to say. I mean, no one really sugarcoats anything. They're just, it's free with it.
Great. And
so, yeah.
How do you feel Kent State reacts to students in the community? I mean, after, making it a gender-neutral housing and bathrooms, what other steps do you see the university taking in order to make these students feel more comfortable?
Well, honestly, I'm not in the community, so I really don't know a lot. But, I guess from where we're sitting now, like everyone is happy about what's going on with Kent State, and the pride community, the queer community, they're all happy about what's going on based on the responses from Twitter. So yeah, I'm not really in the community, so I don't really know, but
Exactly.
from what I hear, it's going well, I guess.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Kanae.
Thank
Our
you.
reporter, Raven Fulton, took time on campus to ask students about recent same-sex marriage updates. Raven?
Thanks, Kayla. We received some tweets, but I went to the Student Center to find out what people thought about same-sex marriage updates across the country.
I feel like everybody has the right to pick whatever they want to do, whatever makes them happy. I mean, your parents kind of raise you to do things that make you happy. I mean, I don't see why there's a reason it shouldn't be legal for men. I mean, it's already legal in some states. It should be legal everywhere.
I feel like people in general, they should all be respected. And I feel like we shouldn't create a sort of a class or like denigrate people because of their sexual preferences or anything like that. But at the same time, I am a Christian, and I do believe that gay marriage isn't right.
Feeling gay marriage is, people have the right to do what they want. So if you believe and that's what you want in your life, I personally believe it. Feel free to do what you want to do.
Well, my opinion on gay marriage, I mean, if you want to be religious about it, it's wrong. But, in today's modern time, it's what makes you happy at the end of the day. So, I mean, I really don't care for it. But if some people are happy together, knowing that they're dating the same sex and that's who they have to be, that's who they want to be with, and at that, if they feel like it's right for them, then okay. I mean, it depends at the end of the day what you believe in.
I don't even think the government there should be even an argument about it. Like, I just don't think of that. That's just going too far into people's personal lives. If you tell them, oh, you can't marry somebody because we don't, as a society, feel like that's right. Society isn't in your household.
I like that response.
Yes. So I know we discussed, obviously, Kanae already said she's, not a part of the community, and you are not as well, Raven. But being people that are not in the LGBTQ community, how do you feel information is being put out as far as people who don't know about how to get involved, how to help, how to become part of rallies or information? Do you guys feel like you don't get enough of that?
Well, I get enough of it every day. I mean, I hear about it every day, but I mean, like I said, I'm not in the community, so, but from what I see and hear, it's like getting broadcasted everywhere, so.
But as far as outside members coming together and helping those in the community, as far as helping put together rallies and things like that, do you see a push for movement?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because like me personally, like I have a few, friends that like are in that community. So like anytime I can support, I try. But so yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think I see a lot happening on campus. Not a lot, but like I think I'm seeing more. And I think that's good. I feel like the community definitely needs to come together, and people outside the community should be aware of what's going on inside the community.
Exactly.
And I think Kent's doing a pretty good job as trying to keep everyone informed.
Yeah, and like it's like a norm here. So it's like everyone supports everyone because it's normal. So it's like it's not anything that's like sketchy or anything. So it's just like everyone supports everyone.
Exactly. And when you did these interviews, did you find a lot of people turned you away and didn't want to talk about the topic?
No, a lot of people were definitely more receptive of it. A lot of people were saying the same things. They were just saying like, why not make it legal? Like, people are going to do what they want. Like, might as well do it. Like, who cares? That's their life. That's not mine. And then people who didn't agree, they weren't harsh about it at all. A lot of people are just saying, a lot of people brought up Christianity, and they were saying I don't agree with it because of my spirituality. But they were like, let them do them. Like, I'm not gonna judge them. So.
Exactly. Coming up on The Exchange, we'll have our roundtable discussion on same-sex marriage. We'll be right back.
bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
My new mom and I have a lot in common.
The great outside.
We both love the outdoors.
So shiny.
That's not a flower. We both love geology.
Oh, look. An igneous one.
That's not a rock. And she knows a lot about wildlife.
A labradoodle.
That's not a dog. Hanging out has been kind of fun.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Welcome back. We'll begin our roundtable discussion with these students who are here to talk about their take on same-sex marriage. So earlier, we reviewed the judicial updates on same-sex marriage. What are your initial thoughts on this development, and how do you think these will impact future decisions?
I think it'll be very important. I think that portraying such things on social media, through media in general, will be very healthy for people to see, people of different type of cultures. And I think fighting a constant fight is very important as well. So people who will see people fighting is very inspirational for people who are afraid to speak up or afraid to fight as well. So seeing that their culture is being displayed in a very positive way will be very healthy for the group and subgroups, like different types of subcultures in media. So.
Exactly.
I think a big thing with it as well, any progress is good progress. It is important to remember that this isn't the only issue facing the LGBTQ community. And there's so many more things, from trans healthcare to equal housing acts and non-discriminatory work and school policies. And so while this is an awesome thing, like, you know, we're getting same-sex marriage legalized, like, that's great, but it can't stop there.
Yeah.
And like, this progress needs to keep going, and we need to use the fuel from this fire to spearhead into greater and better things for the LGBTQ community.
I agree, and a lot of the time it's a never-ending fight, so we'll have to, even after, if we were to have the fortunate thing of having all the bans lifted off of that, I think we'll still have to continue to fight for other things that we need to have rights for. And I think it'll be, unfortunately, never-ending fight, but I think it's something we need to show America and show society and the world in like general. So.
Exactly, and do you think that once the decision is made for these Midwest states and their ban, that after that it's up to the LGBTQ community to enlighten everyone on the other issues, as far as getting the information out there, making sure that people know that this is not the end. We accomplished step 1, now we need to get down to 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on.
Oh, most definitely. I think that a lot of people are unfortunately in the dark. They don't know about our struggles or who we are as a people. So I think teaching them and educating them on that will also help not only our fights with them as well. And I think going along the basis of really emphasizing allyship and educating them on what they can do to help, I think that'll be very important for not only themselves, but making it more like diverse for us and for the society.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think allies are a big thing, It's important to have allies, and that's just anybody who's not a member of the LGBTQ community but supports them, supports what they stand for, and wants to help these goals become a reality. And I think a lot of what is going to get accomplished, it won't just be done by the community itself. You need the help from these outside people, because the reality is the opinions of queer individuals may not be as widely accepted as straight individuals. So we need, a give and take of both groups to come together to get these things to happen.
Right, and I completely agree. That's true for any cause. You have a cause going, you need people that are on the outside that are going to also help. It's about, teamwork, like you guys said, about creating those allies. When it comes to creating those allies and getting people who are not in the community to come to rallies or come to marches and things like that, do you think that certain stereotypes about the LGBTQ community, involve why some people are support or don't support for the lack of understanding?
I think it's kind of like a personal bias with that, because I feel that The allyship thing is, I can see it could be a negative thing, but I only see it as a positive thing, because I see showing other people that, hey, it's not this, oh, they're fighting for their rights, okay, but yes, but also other people are fighting with them that are not like them. I think that's very important as well, and I think that a certain portrayal of that kind of sets people, like, kind of ease people back, like, hey, if they're fighting, maybe I should help to fight with them, because I agree, or maybe disagree, but hopefully I agree with that statement. I would like to fight and do that as well. So I think it's important to always know that it's somewhere else, someone out there fighting for you, and like people that are not like you are fighting for you, because it kind of sets off a wave of like inspiration as well as like help and like courage.
So what do you guys see as far as the future for the LGBTQ community once the ban is lifted, as far as people coming together? You know, so once there's always, okay, we've accomplished this, and everyone thinks, like you said, it's time to relax. How do you feel that once the ban is lifted, if it is or if it isn't, to keep that morale going for the rest of the work that needs to be done within the community?
Well, we just can't stop. Like, it's lifted, and like not everybody's gonna want to get married, which is another thing. Because, I mean, like, not everybody believes in marriage, but this is a very important thing, because like this is about feeling accepted and feeling like you can go somewhere and not worry about like how people are going to react to you, or like not doing something because people are going to like hurt you or something, and like people just want to know that like they're not alone and everything. So once we lift this and we work towards other things in the community, that'll be just great once everybody's like on an understanding.
Very well said, I agree.
I think a big thing too is I'm hoping from this we can transition into some other things, because while this is an important issue, in my opinion, it is not the most important issue that the LGBTQ community faces. You know, we have, as a minority group, some of the highest suicide rates. 41% of all LGBTQ members have either attempted or committed suicide in their life. And you know, that's a big number. That is a lot of people. And so I hope that from this and this, you know, the lift on the ban of same-sex marriage is really going to do is going to get this idea out there that, you know, it's 2015, same-sex marriage, it's on the table, it's not that big of a deal anymore. So hopefully we can use that to help, you know, other people and help get this more accepted. And like you said, it's all about, in the long run, creating a safe space where people are able to feel comfortable being themselves. And by doing this and getting this more out there, and just the concept of it, getting it more widely known and accepted, it helps for more people to be like, well, you know, I'm going to make the decision to make this a safe space.
Exactly, I agree. Coming up on The Exchange, we'll tell you what changes are coming to the LGBTQ Community Center. We'll be right back.
When you're out there, there's no telling what you'll find.
I see it, I see it! Oh, look at you.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
The inherent right to work is one of the elemental privileges of a free people. Endowed, as our nation is, with abundant physical resources, and inspired as it should be, with the high purpose to make those resources and opportunities available for the enjoyment of all. We approach this problem of re-employment with the real hope of finding a better answer than we have now.
Welcome back. Now with us, we have our two staff members who are championing the efforts and supporting the LGBTQ community. From the Center for Student Involvement, Miss Yvette Mendoza, and from the Student Multicultural Center Program Coordinator, Avery Danage. We're very excited to have you here with us today, and from what I understand, you have some exciting news that you wanted to share with us as well.
Sure, yes. We're here to announce a new group that Yvette and I are going to advise together. It's called Threads, and it's for our students of color in the LGBTQ community.
Okay, and is Threads like an acronym for something, or?
It's more so symbolic of living in intersectional places in society.
Okay, okay. Why do you think that this effort is important to have?
Well, I was the advisor for Pride Kent in 2011 after Dr. Knoll retired. And so as I became their advisor and started learning more about students of color in the LGBTQ community, I was finding more and more that they didn't identify exactly with Pride Kent. So there are some things that I feel like we need to start addressing with our students of color with regards to their sexuality. There's plenty of things that we could cover. Religion and how it applies to sexuality and sexual identity. But you know, I feel like there needs to be like a safe space for them as well.
Right, completely agree. And what makes identity different for students of color?
It's the first thing that you see, so it's they experience the world in a unique, different way. So what we're doing is honoring their experience and, like Yvette said, having another place basically for them to go.
All right. And what kinds of things can we expect from this group Threads that you're going to have?
One component of the group we're trying to start is some psychoeducational counseling. So like getting to know yourself and then know your community and where your supports are and building your support system among your friends. That's one part of what we'll be doing. And Avery can talk about other parts.
Yeah, it's going to be a student organization, so it's going to be student-led, student-focused, and as advisors, we're going to be there to help and support. So we hope that, especially in the fall, that they hit the ground running in relation to programming, getting the word out there, and advocacy, and being a part of the Kent community.
And as far as you know, there are over 1,300 African-American students here on Kent's campus. So what types of programs are you guys going to try to put on for these students in order to get them acclimated not only into the group, but into the LGBTQ community as a whole?
Well, I wanted to say first off that it's not going to be just for African American students.
Okay.
It will be for Latino students,
Okay.
any student of color.
Okay.
So however a student identifies, if they identify as a student of color, then that's what we're targeting.
Okay.
So, I don't really know. I mean, we're still in the process of building exactly what we're going to do.
Okay.
But I feel like that we would both agree that it's going to be more student-led.
Okay.
And we're going to be in the background, just making sure that the guidance is there.
Okay, so it's kind of be up to them to decide what types of things they want to do in order to raise awareness about the group.
Absolutely, and the Student Multicultural Center will be there to help and support the group in that. And we do programming year-round for our Alana and underrepresented and underserved students.
Okay. Did you guys face any challenges when trying to create this new organization on campus?
We haven't, not from my knowledge, not yet.
No, there's a need. So I mean, the whole excellence in action thing is really big for staff at Kent.
Okay. Coming up on the exchange, we'll have a performance you won't want to miss. We'll be right back.
This new mom is struggling to get the skates just right. Now she's holding on for dear life.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
Pleases everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised.
Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
The inherent right to work is one of the elemental privileges of a free people. Endowed, as our nation is, with abundant physical resources, and inspired as it should be, with the high purpose to make those resources and opportunities available for the enjoyment of all. We approach this problem of re-employment with the real hope of finding a better answer than we have now.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're going to beat them and bust them. Beat them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad
One more
today.
time. Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys.
Welcome back to The Exchange. Since we've been having a kind of unorthodox show, instead of our usual live performance, myself and Kanae Hughes are going to recite a few spoken word pieces about love. Kanae?
I was able to capture part of his soul, his heart crying out for me emotionally. You see, I'm that woman who keeps the blood flow in his heart from functioning normally. Right ventricle, semilunar valve, pulmonary artery, just as the blood begins to reach the lungs to receive oxygen, it stopped for me. There was nothing clogged, caused by plaque, just my hand on his heart, causing it to react.
A marriage of two is a love that is true. A marriage of two is always something new. A marriage of two happens sometimes out of the blue. A marriage of two is worth it when it's due. A marriage of two is a marriage of trust. Many can find themselves lost, and it can be an expensive cost. There are only very few who have a clue of when love accrues. A marriage of two is about lovemaking. It's not about money raking. A marriage of two can be bad. A marriage of two can be sad. You should only be glad if a marriage of two is for love that is true. Thank you for joining us on this episode of The Exchange, and I'm Kayla Hodge, filling in for Marvin Logan. Have a great evening.
All right. I know this isn't any fun to talk about, but we should. Okay, so who's gonna do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice.
And I'll try to get the generator going without any gas.
Oh, let's not forget the cell phones, which probably won't work.
Right.
And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
Well, I think we couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.